You know what? You're not going to believe this story because I'm not sure if I believe this story. It is wild. So one night in Arizona, it's late, and a logging crew, they're driving back to town after work. And suddenly, boom, they all see a super bright light through the gaps in the trees. And Travis, he gets out, and pow, a beam of light hits him and it sends him falling backwards. And his coworkers in the truck, they panic and they speed away. And about 15 minutes later, the coworkers in the truck, they're like, damn it, we shouldn't have left him. We have to go back. So they go back, and it's really dark, and they don't find anything. No Travis, no bright light in the sky, nothing. So what can they do? They alert the police. And police are like, so your friend got zapped by a bright light in the sky, and now he's missing? Okay. So police go and they search the area and they don't find anything, and they start looking at these guys like they murdered Travis and are just making up this whole crazy story to cover it up. So then police require all 6 of these coworkers to take a polygraph test, which it's now known that polygraph tests are like total pseudoscience bullshit, but this is all happening in 1975. So I guess at this time police are still using them? So anyway, 6 of these guys take a polygraph and they're asked about whether or not they murdered Travis, and 5 of them pass the test and 1 of them actually doesn't. Then, a few days later, that's when Travis returns. He wakes up about 30 miles from where he was abducted, and he walks to a payphone and he calls someone to pick him up. And from there, they take Travis to a hospital, and he's fine, he's not hurt, but of course, everyone wants to know what really happened to him. Did he really get abducted by a flying saucer or something? And so Travis starts telling his story, and the media is all over this news because it's fascinating and kind of crazy. And ultimately, he ends up taking 2 polygraph tests himself, one he passes and one he fails because, again, it's total pseudoscience. Regardless, he's getting hit up by reporters, and the National Enquirer interviews him and his coworkers, and they pay them a few $1,000s each for their story, and this is actually a photo of them each holding up a check that they got. And then that story comes out, and boom, now they're all semi-famous. And Travis, he seems to be all about it. Like, he's doing interviews, he goes on TV, he's speaking at UFO conventions, and he writes a whole-ass book about his experience. And eventually, that book gets turned into a movie called Fire in the Sky. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid, that movie scared the shit out of me, for real. But anyway, after all that, after Travis's crazy experience in that UFO for 5 days, his story becomes the most famous alien abduction story in American history. Until...